What do you mean?
Alright, welcome back if you're returning, and welcome if you're new to the channel. I'm playing some Pyramid Head today, and we are doing a bit of a post-commentary video today because I was recording, but I did not have my mic on. So I was not able to get the commentary for that, but that's okay, because we're going to get into the mix here. We're going to kind of see what the vibes are, see what's going on, and maybe we'll go for a little bit of a maybe an educational opportunity here. Because so far, as you can see, I actually went for like 2 different like blind shots. This one was actually a flick that I was trying to attempt. But you can flick a little bit with controller, like a little bit. It's not like the biggest like 360 like flicks like you could do on the PC with the keyboard and mouse, but it still has a smidge of a flick you can kind of do. So it's not the best, but hey, I don't think it's too fundamental for playing Pyramid Head, especially on a controller. I think you can do just fine without it. That being said, this guy seems like he's really into dancing in the FOVs. This is actually before the FOV update that had dropped, so I still think it was a pretty good gameplay for you guys. So I wanted to show it to you. With that being said, and plus I can definitely improve by looking over my games here. That's something I recommend you guys do as well. To try to look over your games if you can record them and just kind of see where you made any mistakes and try to improve that way. I tried to blind fire there. I think it was valid to at least attempt it there, but then when you look at that corner, it doesn't have a lot of space. Pyramid Head does like kind of struggle on this map due to the fact that a lot of walls can kind of block a lot of your shots from its reach and stuff like that, and corners can block your shots as well. So you are limited to that kind of thing. As well as the fact that I somehow got like essentially just blocked by the doorway, which was really just like I don't even know how I could have countered that. That was just the game just not letting me confirm my swing there. I don't know if it was aim assist or something, but either way, thankfully I switched over to the Yunjin. We can definitely see that she is the weakling off the bat here. And this is how you identify the weakling. We did attempt to go for a prediction, but she did not even attempt to start running. So she gets bodied immediately, which is a great opportunity for me to actually get the down. So that's really good for me. But I had known that they all had flashlights. They were going to go for saves, so I figured at least let me get a hit in on one of them healing or something. So they're gonna have to heal again, and then we can go ahead and face the wall just in case. You know what I'm saying? You never, like, these survivors can get angles off of, you know, a lot of BS in the game. Like, let's be fair here, you know, a lot of BS angles. So like what I try to do is just really get as close as I can to the wall so that I'm looking inside of the map, just so that there's no opportunity to get the damn blind, man. With that being said, we got a hit on Ace there. This gen is kind of going, but I really didn't have the chance to really go and kick it because we know that the whole team is around, and I was actually out of range to hit the Dwight there. So the idea that we're trying to do is honestly stay within proximity. We know the entire team is in the area. You can see by the scratch marks, the blood, everything. The entire team is here. We try to attempt to go for a shot here, but he just already curves it out the corner, and then somehow knew I was going to go for the prediction there, which is a little strange. But it wasn't really much I could do about it. We just slapped that Ace out of the way. Because they are playing extremely altruistic, so we can use this to our advantage by following the Yunjin here, and then we can actually, depending if she goes for a window, which I think there's one coming up that we actually predict that coming up, we can actually go ahead and knock her down again because we know that she is the weakling. So with that being said, that is a really solid play on my part. Now, we don't have anything for Scourge or anything like that, so we're not attempting to go for any hooks unless we have to. Is usually what I recommend unless you have like a pain res. And then obviously gens are going to fly, especially when you're playing a character like Pyramid Head who's, has a ranged attack, but you still are quite slow considering you don't have any mobility compared to Westrip Light, you know, Nurse Spirit, etc., which can be a bit of a challenge. But it doesn't really, the only way that it really will affect you is if you just don't have enough patience to get used to a character like this, because he's very difficult to pick up. Now, thankfully, with Ultimate Weapon, we were able to see where everybody was, and we started to leave a little bit of some trail on the doorway there to see if they may close in. They're going to go in from my right side, so we can go ahead, and at least if we get an M1, leaving some more trail, but also tried to at least get an M1. We got a nice interruption on Ace there, which is good for me. I wanted to try to cut off as much time as I could, and then we leave him on the ground while we attempt to try to catch her out here, which she somehow slipped away before I even had the chance to get the shot there, which is very lucky on her part. Now, she seems pretty lost, but she just keeps running in really goofy areas, and that is the issue with when you go against like some of the weaklings, is that their pathing is all over the place. Because of their fear, they're just running everywhere and just hoping they get away, and pre-dropping every pallet and stuff. So I figured I would have to just continue to follow her and just go for the M1, because we don't really have the option to go for a shot when it's a bit slow. Now, I had anticipated it probably would be a for the people play here, most likely. Of course it would be, because it always is. You could tell by the way the Ace was running directly over the survivor that I kind of had this gut feeling like they may have for the people, because they wouldn't be all up against them unless they actively had that perk. Now, if they were going for blinds, and you see they're going for a triple body block here, or a double, I should say. But thankfully, I was able to shoot the Ace with the shot here, and then we were able to start to follow him, because he's still trying to body block even with the person on Death Hook. Now we know that because they are overextending themselves to get body blocks in, we can use that to our advantage by just taking a free hook, so we can get them to get off of gens and start going over there, because they still all have to fully heal. We're going to use ultimate weapon even though we saw them in that doorway, which is really good for me, because we need that info, and because ultimate weapon can even bypass Calm Spirit and whatnot. We're actually going to down him and then use our cage here, because we want to get as many people in hook states as possible while we use the person on Death Hook as our I would say like a beacon, if you will, to get to be calling all survivors, they want them all to come in and try to protect her, because they're so afraid of her being dead, and leveraging the game, that we can use that to get everyone else hooks and get them off of stuff. And then because we know that they did actually go there, I actually try to go for the prediction there. Of course, they can just dodge it. Pyramid Head is very easy to counter, unfortunately. But we can actually go for the shot there, which, you miss all the shots you don't take, obviously. So at least we attempted to do that. And then we're starting to get more hook states, just so that we can start spreading it around and keep constantly getting them to go for saves instead of getting on gens, so we can create the most amount of slowdown, because, gens could get done very, very quickly. But with that being said, we're gonna continue to follow the Yunjin here. We know that she's gonna be within this area. We've been following her this entire time essentially, but we've been able to get a lot of people. She's trying to you see her shimmying. She's trying to abuse the aim assist so that it's it flies somewhere else. Survivors will never not do something like that, because they will try everything in their power to try to get you to miss or try to get you to make a mistake. Keep that in mind, you know what I'm saying? Because that's something you need to understand when you are playing as killer, that the survivors are going to use everything at their disposal. And I understand that, you understand that, and I believe that you should just do the same. You know what I'm saying? It's only fair. But that being said, we can see that this guy's injured, trying to work on a generator. He knows what's going on here, but he doesn't have a lot of options. He does have endurance magically. It's possible that he does have just off the record, I guess. There's a possibility of that. But we were able to get the prediction due to I'm all ears, which is one of the Pyramid Head's best chase perks. We're going to go ahead and go for the cage, because the cage is the fastest. Now, keep in mind that when you're playing killer, picking up the survivor and taking them to a hook is added time onto the chase as it is. So if your chase is 10 seconds long, it's still going to take an extra 5 more seconds to get them onto the hook anyway. So with that in mind, when you do play when you're against more difficult survivors, you do kind of have to keep that in mind. You're in the internal clock in your brain, I gotta move quickly to get that leverage to my side as quickly as possible, because game time is gen time. Any second that passes is 1% on the gen, so we do have to do what we can here. Now, obviously, we know there's 2 people here. So I had at least attempted to go for the shot, because I saw Ace hiding in this little corner here. So at least I attempted to actually go for the shot through there. And then we also were able to get our final judgment. As a result, so we got a Mori out of it as well. He's trying to blind. And then we can go ahead and use this is our advantage here. Now, we know that this area can be very tricky. I did attempt to go for the shot to kind of throw it off a little bit, maybe throw them off here. I did try to attempt the shot there. Now, you're going to see me turn my camera when I go for the shot. It's mainly because I'm trying to attempt to flick the shot, but a lot of the time it doesn't really work that way. Unfortunately, on controller, that's not really the easiest thing to do. You know, he's nodding, losing his mind, celebrating. But keep in mind that we are a level 5 Pyramid Head, so we're still trying to, at the time I should say, we are a level 5, so we're still trying to improve our game as Pyramid Head. As you can see, they're BMing quite a bit. You know, they're very overconfident, to say the least. Now, we did get the hit there. He's really trying to make sure the aim assist bugs out. Like I've said before, keep in mind that survivors are going to use everything at their disposal. He did run right back into the shot, so I'm glad he did, because they love to get cocky, but guess what happens? They still get finesse. So I got to give him the big nod and throw him into the cage as quick as possible. Now, here's one of the biggest strengths of Pyramid Head is the fact that when they do get uncaged, they do not have any endurance. They do not have decisive. They do not have off the record. They do not have any second chance perks when they come out of that cage. And that is exactly what you want to take advantage of if you are playing Pyramid Head against a lot of tough survivors and a lot of survivors that are utilizing the meta to their fullest extent with dead hards and decisives and off the records and all in the same build, honestly, which is something that you want to keep in mind. And it can be very frustrating to deal with, especially when you're just trying to just learn a character or have a good time. And especially because Pyramid Head does have that skill gap that is very tricky to learn. Now, we know that the way that he's running, we know that they're probably there, so we wait till he gets uncaged, and then we knock down the goofball again. And then we use that to our advantage to then leverage it again. Now, we know he's going to pre-drop and just lose his mind, and he gets finesse, so that pretty much is the end of this portion of the video. Now, I'm going to give him the good old stare down so he understands, like, you know, he's still got finesse, all that nodding shit for nothing, pretty much, because he got finessed and demolished. And make sure you give him the hit on the hook as well. Now, I know a lot of Survivor players tend to get pretty mad about that, but at the end of the day, you know, survivors are teabagging at the exit gate, and nobody bats an eye, so I'm a little bit confused by that. Like, if a killer like hits them on the hook, all of a sudden the whole world's ending. I'm like, I don't understand it. It doesn't really make sense. It's on the same wavelength, isn't it not? Like, both sides are VMing. Like, I don't understand what the problem is, but we're gonna go ahead and jump towards the end here to see what they brought. Okay, so we can take a quick look. We got the 4K, obviously, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look here. We're gonna scroll on over. Thank you, thank you. And as you can see, they were bringing a lot of meta BS in the lobby. All right, so I thought I'd throw in another commentary for you guys so you can maybe hopefully learn a little bit more about playing Pyramid Head, as well as the fact that I can also see where I can improve my gameplay as Pyramid Head to get even better as it is. Now, this is a learning experience for both of us. With that being said, let's get into the mix. We have Lethal Pursuer, obviously. Now, we know that they're kind of all clumped up around this area, so I'm going to attempt to go and shoot through the wall to get the hit on somebody on the gen, which is a good thing. You may want to try that sometimes. And we do end up getting the knockdown with the prediction that they would run to the right. Now, we know that this clown is very, you know, pointing and being BMing and all that other stuff. We can just keep that in mind. We go ahead and drop them on the pain res. Sometimes people will want to say that they want to save the pain res for a different time. Like, oh, I want to wait till like 4 gens. I don't even try to do that. Mainly due to the fact that we don't. We want to create pressure very, very quickly, because they can, you know, gens can really get done very fast. And they'll spiral out of control if you let it happen. So we are pressuring the pallet with our ability here, but I am getting a little bit ambitious with these shots here, because we know that we can't really land it through the staircase. I think the staircase might be too thick for you to get a really good shot through. It would have been better if I pressured the pallet with the ability, just so that they can try to make a mistake or drop the pallet out of fear, or to try to get the stun, and then I would be able to just shoot through and then get the knockdown that way. Now, another fumble here, I would say, is that I'm not going for the pain res again. Mind you, I am using Floods of Rage, so if I had put them on the, you know, on that Scourge, I would have been able to use that aura reading to my advantage. I would have got information on everybody in the map, so that was another fumble on my part. And it also would have created pressure if there is a gen that was going off. Now, pain res does automatically activate on a gen that would be progressed. Thankfully, with the gen changes, it only will activate if there is a gen that can progress. So you can actually use it if deadlock is active now, which is really, really good, but this is pre-patch. Now, good job on my part. Me zoning her out away from those pallets and stuff like that made her have a meltdown, which obviously works out. And then we got the extra range, the distance here, because she's like busy fumbling around, losing her mind. Now, the problem here is I went for an ambitious lunge, which really just kind of canceled out the mistake that she made, unfortunately. And then we at least go for the shot and land it because she really did not expect the shot to come out. She wasn't even looking back. So that uses that to my advantage. Now, the way I describe Pyramid Head and knowing when to shoot is sort of like if you've ever seen Demon Slayer and, you know, Tanjiro kind of sees that thread in the middle of the fight to know that that's the kill shot. Is sort of the way I envision when I play Pyramid Head, is the sense that like I try to kind of observe the survivor, and then right at that moment where I know here's the time to start placing down my ability, and then from there we look for the thread and we go for the shot. Because that is your best bet to land shots like this, especially when Pyramid Head is so just unbelievably easy to counter. Now Kate's busy trying to BM again. We're just actually ignoring them because they're just not really doing anything useful. So we're gonna go after the same person again here. We knocked off the endurance, which is really good. We're able to get the knockdown here, and then we pull out the Mori, which I was actually saving for. I believe that this Thalita was P100. We're actually gonna find out at the end of the match. This Kate is losing her mind again, which is fine. We were able to get one of them out of the game very quickly, at least at around 4 gens, which is pretty good. Solid work on my part, despite anything. We know that the Lita was definitely the weakling, and the Claudette here is just kind of lost. I don't really know what the hell she's doing, but we can use that as well, because we want to get rid of the weaklings as quickly as we can to leverage the game to our side. Now, the problem here is I was actually attempting to go for shots that I know I probably wouldn't have gone through because of the fact that the staircases was too thick. Now, I didn't really know that until you know, playing through the match. But for the future, I know now not to try to attempt shots through that, because I think the majority of the shot will just kind of be inside of the staircase and not actually going out on the other end. Now, this area is very problematic on this map, but we do leave trail here, which is one of the good things that we can do with Pyramid Head. We force them into the trail because a lot of the time they don't want to go for it. And then I fumbled the shot there. That little area between those two tables is literally a bottleneck that she cannot dodge. So I would have been able to get the shot there, but I fumbled it because I was impatient and didn't go for the correct angle to actually get the shot off. So that actually kind of cost me a chase there, which is really unfortunate. We did attempt to go and from the other angle, but and we actually spot them. You're gonna see the little bit of barbed wire sticking out, which you can use that to help find hiding survivors. If they do have torment, and a lot of the time they want to play quote immersive, you can at least use the trail there to actually give you that little bit of a leg up. You can actually see where they're hiding. You can kind of see where they're kind of going. Maybe they're using a check spot. You can see that. Pyramid Head is definitely one of my favorite killers because of all these little aspects that can give you an advantage. Now, I had left the chase again, and here's a glaring issue that I noticed in this gameplay, is that I'm not committing to another chase, even though I got the first down. I should have honestly been going for another chase and gotten that down and continued to pressure the survivors here, because we literally have the advantage now. We're literally down to 3 survivors, and now I'm letting the pressure just slowly slip away when we have every advantage that we can. And that's not a good thing. So we can, at least, we're actually going to go for a shot through the gen here, which is really solid on my part. I landed it. We know that they're going to rush the gens. And so I had just tried to look around. We also attempted to go for the shot there, but once again, you're going to see I don't go for the chase, and that is a massive misplay because I already got the injury. I should have at least gone for the shot, because keep in mind that we are Pyramid Head. We do kind of ignore the pallets a little bit. Now, she's instantly healing, which is really strange, but either way, we can at least go ahead and mind game that, I believe. We got her to drop the pallet. We got a free hit off of this, and this is the person we should be going after because she just wasted a resource, and she got stuck on that wall. So this is good. Now, best case scenario, we actually go ahead and get a pain res. slash Floods of Rage hook. And then we use that to give us more information, and that'll also give us regression. Pretty solid. I think what a good addition maybe could be Agitation, but I'm not entirely sure. I do wish Agitation was sometimes a base kit because it just takes an eternity to get to the hook. But at least we were able to get that going, and now we can try to find which gen that they were working on. So that was the gen that had it actually blown up, I believe. So now they got the unhook. Now they actually used For the People. Kind of expected that they would have some meta perks in the lobby. But we can actually attempt to go after Kate here for just a bit, and that is a bit of another fumble on my part. Well, actually, no, maybe not actually, because he is injured. We do actually get the down, so actually it would have been smarter. No. Actually, it wasn't a misplay at all. It was actually smart to go for Kate here. But we do need the pain res. We definitely need the pain res because we need to start slowing these gens down. Now the problem is Deadlock is active, and this is pre-patch before the FOV changes and the gen changes. So it does consume your token despite it not regressing the gen pre-patch, but now it doesn't do that anymore. So you can run Deadlock and pain res together, and that's completely fine. It won't take your token unless it actively regresses the gen, which is really good. But unfortunately, we did waste a token on a gen like that, and we just were not able to get any value there. Now, we do see Claudette just kind of crouching there like a roach. I don't really know what the hell she's doing, but we're going to attempt to go for the shot. It just does not go through, unfortunately. But we are able to at least go ahead and get this gen dropping. Now, we know this gen is probably the one with the most progress, and they are already are fully healing because we wasted time going for Claudette. And there's a lot of gens that almost halfway already, which is insane. But it's honestly partially due to the fact that I just was not pressuring, getting enough pressure going. Especially because even though Claudette's goofy ass was on the stairs, we should have honestly went for the Kate there because she was in the midst of healing. And by me just kind of fumbling around and looking around everywhere instead of actually just going to where I knew that the survivors were, it does kind of fumble a bit. Now we know Claudette, I would have figured she would have left the area, but you know, judging by how their quote immersive gameplay, we know that they're not very skilled, and we can actually just go ahead and get the shot on them. And we know Kate has not been on the gen for quite some time. She's just been running around in circles doing nothing. So you see her just kind of scampering off on the left side. You want to focus on Claudette here because she is injured, and we can probably get, ideally, we can probably get it down here and probably put them on another Scourge to get value. But unfortunately, she's running toward a strong area. We tried to at least go for the gen that was going off, but that was honestly a misplay because now she just scampers off down the little rat hole. And there's not really much you can really do with that. Unfortunately, Pyramid Head can be very map dependent in that sense because there are some maps that are very difficult to be able to shoot through certain things. And obviously due to the fact that we don't have map traversal, and it does kind of hinder us a bit. Now we do know that we are playing, and then she also had applied a syringe because, you know, survivors have everything. Survivors are truly like Swiss Army knives with every perk under the sun that can literally apply to any situation in every situation with every second chance under the sun. So with that being said, you do have to keep that in mind with certain things like that. So when they have a syringe, it wouldn't even be worth chasing because it's going to double the time it would take to down them, because then at moving at, you know, normal base killer speed 4.6, then have to hit them, and then they're going to heal and then hit them again, and then just to get the, you know, it just takes too long. So you're just better off just, you know, going after the gen anyway. And that's the thing. I was at one gen, it was really hard to even commit to any chase, which once again I shouldn't have even been in this situation. I should have just been applying more pressure during the mid game so that once we get to say one gen, it would have been like maybe 2 or 1 survivors left on the map, honestly. And now, as you can see, she's already fully healed. And then that one's fully healed, so we did get a little bit of slowdown from the healing aspect, but now we're at a standstill here, which is a massive misplay. Okay, very massive misplay. Because we should have been applying pressure because we already hooked somebody. We know where 2 survivors are, and then we should have at least attempted to go after that hooked survivor, and started getting somebody closer to getting out of the game. And when you start to do that, a lot of the time you're gonna get a lot of survivors trying to be, you know, Captain. I was gonna say, well, let me just say, trying to be the Superman of the lobby. and they're going to try to jump in and try to save their teammates, right? A lot of the time, especially if it's a 4-man, they're going to try to rush in and try to save each other, and that's exactly what you use to leverage it to your side. And if they don't decide to do that, then you're once again getting another kill anyway. So you still benefit for the most part. But ideally, you would still want to, if that's going to be the case, like they're not really going to use the altruism, you know, then you can attempt to at least, you know, go for more, just go for hooks constantly. Get everybody just off of gens anyway, because they're going to have to save them in order to prevent a kill. Because a lot of this game really does, it is really based off of a lot of leverage and balance in that type of sense, where it's like, you know, the more pressure you apply, the stronger your snowball is gonna fall. So, but it also, you know, keep in mind I wasn't keeping track of my hooks here, because I can definitely tell by this portion of the match that I didn't even know which person was on death hook and which one wasn't. And that's something you do have to keep in mind when you are playing killer, especially when you're going against strong survivors, you know, quotations, and you're at a bit of a higher level, especially when you're going against survivors with, you know, communication on a Discord call or whatever have you. They're going to have that advantage. They're going to have communication. They're going to know where you are at all times, and especially even besides that fact, but the fact you have a terror radius and you hear the music, boom, they already start running. Oh, I gotta get out of here. And boom, they're gone, right? So she did fumble here, but then I ended up shooting there, and then I was like, well, I can't commit to that then, because I already missed the shot. She makes a half mile pretty much for me missing a single shot, which is another a bit of a tricky part about Pyramid Head, is if you do miss a shot, it can be very devastating. For distance, I would say, but I'm just trying to leverage the game. Now, if I had kept in mind which ones had hooks and stuff like that, and we also could see that Claudette is definitely a weakling, we could have leveraged the game a lot better to my side, but I figured that I can't really commit to the chase here in order to get any pressure, because of the fact that the gens can have 2 people on them and get done within seconds. Now, we are going for hits here, which is also kind of a misplay as well. I mean, let's keep it a buck here, right? It's a bit of another misplay because of the fact that we don't have sloppy or anything like that, which is not really recommended for Pyramid Head, at least personally. We did look away, and then we ended up going for the shot, which was actually fantastic. I think that was a really great mind game, unintentionally, because I was just kind of like, I was looking away at that time, but it actually turned into a mind game, which is actually really good. And I figured, I had kind of assumed I didn't have time to go for the pain res, which was I honestly should have at least tried, because like I figured that the gen would have continued to regress, or I had enough time. I would have actually been able to probably slow down the gen speed just a bit more, and that honestly would have probably been a better play than doing what I did. Now, we do actually go for the shot here, because they were like quick to get the save, and then the gen's already done anyway. So if I did go for the pain res, I probably would have prevented that gen from going off. But that being said, we do get the shot there, which is really good. You have to be very patient to see that opening. So we go for the Floods of Rage hook here, and that'll give us at least aura rating. We know that one person's already here. For some reason, they have a map in their hand. They've just been running around doing nothing for their team. So we're actually going to go ahead and go for the shot here. Now, a misconception that you, as say a new Pyramid Head player, is you may think, oh, I should shoot now, and then that'll get the hit, and then whatever. No. We're not going to do that, because we want to actually get the timing where they get, what they're doing right now, you don't even have to shoot. And this is where patience kicks in. What you want to do is shoot when their feet touch the ground, and there's an extra second after that. I misplayed that. I could have gotten actually 2 hits, but we still got the Kate injured, and we were able to at least get the timer started for the endurance. So whatever she does here, now we can still get the down here, and thankfully we still have trail, because we didn't actually go for any cages yet. So that actually gives me time to actually go for a Mora here on the Zarina, confirming 1 kill, and then we slap up the Claudette. Now here we have to go for the shot. We don't have a choice. We get the hit. Beautiful, right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And now, mind you, it's very, very, very risky to go for a cage, but I needed all the time I could get. So what I had done was gone for the cage. Now keep in mind that the cage does end up spawning them close to another door at the end game. So it's better to just have gone for it, knowing that the other door isn't open, and then we could at least gone for the down as I did, because they didn't have any endurance that they could use. So that was at least able to leverage the game to my side. Now all we have to really do here is follow around the Kate in order to get the down. Now we got the down, we can actually just go for the hook here, and then this is a really solid play on my part. Now honestly, I shouldn't have been in this portion of the end game at all, just keeping in mind that I just was not applying pressure correctly, because I had gotten one out of the game, and then I completely just was hands off and didn't even go for any one of the kills until the end, which was a terrible play. And as you guys know, I don't play to the rule book, so this was just me in La La Land, I guess, because I wasn't even paying any attention to anything I was doing apparently, and just kind of fumbling at every step of the way. Now keep in mind as well that the hatch did spawn due to the fact that they're dead, and I figured that I had downed them somewhere, but because of the chase that I was in, I figured I can't even attempt to close the hatch, because if I'm not mistaken, and at the time, I was more so figuring that if I close the hatch, then adrenaline is gonna just pick them up anyway, and then they just fly out the gate. So I can't even really go for that, and that's literally what was holding me back here. We found the hatch, but I figured I can't even really close it because of adrenaline being an aspect. Now I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think that they can get up from even if the end game collapse begins. I don't think that's how it works, but at the time of recording the video, I just kind of had assumed the adrenaline is probably going to get them up some way somehow, because this is DBD and they do this behavior does have this system in place where they just kind of give survivors the hatch at the end for some reason. They just spawn it incredibly close to them regardless of where they are on the map, which is really strange to me. I see that a lot, so so I was attempting to at least try to prevent that from happening. Now we are running around the map here, just trying to kind of hold the game here. And the reason I'm not cutting any of the video is just so that you guys can see in real time the full gameplay, so that you guys can kind of understand the thought process. And kind of see where I could have done better in this match, because I definitely 100% could have done a lot better, 100%. Could have done a world of difference if I had just played better and gotten the pressure out. Patience is key, as well as applying pressure. It is incredibly important, especially on a character like Pyramid Head. Does not have map mobility, does not have a lot of options in that sense, but in other aspects it's so powerful, and it's so cool about Pyramid Head. Being able to bypass second chance perks, being able to bypass pallets, even being able to shoot through walls if you have enough aura or maybe even game knowledge just to get easy downs and stuff like that. And getting a Mori for applied pressure, it's just a fantastic character. And with that being said, this is the end of the video for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have learned something. And of course, meta builds. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the next one.